Okay, let's just start and not think about it and think about cooking, which I'm really excited
Okay,
for tomorrow night.
me
Okay,
too.
all right, three, two, one. So there are many ways people try to heal during and after divorce. Some of the ways might be going to work out, going to a workout class, doing yoga, doing meditation, going to therapy, working with a divorce coach. These are all wonderful, healthy coping mechanisms and a way to try to heal. But there's something you probably never thought of as a way of healing during and after divorce, and that is cooking. And I have to say that I personally have experienced this, not that I'm still healing from my divorce, although I think we're always healing. And I just started cooking in this regard. And I'm so excited to introduce my guest because it is her cooking class that I am taking. I'm loving it so much. It is so meditative to me. It is truly a way to heal for many reasons, and this is what we're going to talk about today. So, my guest is Hannah McKitrick, and Hannah is a holistic nutritionist, a wellness coach, a culinary instructor, and the founder of My Intuitive Health. Hello, Hannah.
Hi, Jackie. So excited to be here talking about cooking and healing and all the things.
Well, I think it's so important that I'm taking this class because I can firsthand talk about how it really helps. It's such a wonderful thing to do for so many reasons. But I want to tell my listeners that Hannah is in her 30s. She's not divorced. And the reason she can talk about this is because so many people who take her classes and go on her culinary retreats are divorced women. So Hannah is very in tune with the divorced women's mindset. So, Hannah, do you agree with me that people should use cooking or can use if they want to, or should try to use cooking as a way to heal and why?
Yeah, 100% Jackie. And as you're even speaking, you're saying that you get it now from a different perspective because you're actually taking the course and doing the classes. And that is one of the main distinguishers about how I help women heal is I give them an embodied experience. And so, as you said, therapy is amazing. And like, I totally recommend therapy to everyone. And it's therapy uses words. And it is that type of healing is done through the mind, which of course we need. Our mind needs to heal as well. But when you go through an embodied experience, like being in a cooking class, using your hands, being like using ingredients and actually making a meal that you're then digesting into your body and into your energy field, it brings the healing into a deeper level. And so there's one part of like the physical and emotional aspects that we hit upon by shifting your state by the act of cooking and also shifting your state by what you're digesting. And then the other piece that is particular about the work I do with people is community. And so cooking and food, it's meant to be shared in communion. And so after divorce, when you're when you're alone, like you want to bring back out like from what I've seen with my clients, like you said, I've never been divorced, but from what I've seen, people want to cook with people. They don't want to be cooking by themselves every single night. And so being able to bring in that kind of shared camaraderie back into the kitchen and into your food is quite healing. It's like connection is healing.
Okay, this is something I never thought of, but you're right. A lot of these women get divorced and they've cooked for their husband for 20 years. And maybe you always made what your husband wanted. And maybe towards the end, things were bad and you were cooking dinner and going through the emotions, and the food wasn't being cooked with good energy and you weren't digesting it in a good way. And there were all these problems and you were walking on eggshells. And now, cooking can take on a whole new meaning when you're cooking for yourself, and you might be missing that part of it feeling and thinking, well, I'm only one person. Why should I cook for myself? Well, only having been in the cooking class for a month, I can tell you there's a gazillion reasons you should cook for yourself, even more so than cooking for a family. Don't you deserve to have the good food and the healthy food that tastes delicious and nourishes your body? Just because it's you, you should go to a carry-out place? Absolutely not. So,
Right.
wow, I didn't even think of that. But I'm still trying to figure out, so I want to tell my listeners the name of Hannah's company is My Intuitive Health, and you can find it at myintuitivehealth.com. But what does intuitive eating even mean? Like, Hannah, I think I told you after the last class, like, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm going to digest it differently. What is intuitive eating?
Yeah. And to the listeners, I told Jackie, don't worry, it's a lifelong journey. I don't expect you to have that, mastered within a month. But, you know, intuitive eating and my business is My Intuitive Health. And that's really what I define by intuitive health is a health and a way of eating that feels easy, that makes you feel good physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And the way that I help people get to that is balancing the needs of what their mind wants, of what their body wants, and of what their soul wants. And so a lot of mainstream diets out there are just focused on your body. And that is not sustainable because we're not one dimension. Like we're not just our body. We have thoughts and we have a soul. And so we have intuitive health, intuitive eating is when you bring in your mind and your soul into the process as well as your body. And so it's not just like, eating cake all day because your body wouldn't like that. But it's also not eating broccoli all day because your mind wouldn't like that. And so the sweet spot for me is when you can combine healing foods with flavor that satiate both your body and your mind and your soul while leaving space, leaving flexibility and room for things that might not benefit your body, like eating a piece of cake, but that will satiate that deep desire for celebration on your birthday, if that makes sense. And so it's really personal to everyone because maybe not everyone's soul wants cake, right? And so it's like it's defining what's your non-negotiables emotionally in what you eat and having that backed by a foundation of physical nutrition that will allow for that flexibility without making you feel like shit.
Okay, now tell my listeners what your credentials are. Where did you learn all of this?
Yeah, so I studied nutrition. I've studied Eastern medicine and Western medicine. So kind of both mainstream scientific nutrition and then also the energetics of nutrition at the Academy of Healing Nutrition, which brought in a lot of kind of Chinese medicine and really ancient wisdom. That is really how I would define that. And a lot of that is based on the longevity diet. And this is a study was done for a centennial society of people, this one group who lives to 100, and they really studied what they were eating. And it was the longevity diet, which are
Okay, was
vegetables.
this in Okinawa, Japan?
I don't even remember, Jackie.
It
Is that
is,
off?
and I know you're impressed that I know that, but it
I
is.
am.
It's in Okinawa, Japan. They live till they're 100, and people wanted to know why, so they did this longevity study. I'll tell you
Yeah.
how I know about it. It's not really that important how I know about it. Well, it is, I guess. I'll just tell my listeners. I used to work in the senior care industry, and there was a company, the company I worked for, is no longer in existence. It was called Home Care Assistance. Great company, great experience. But they studied and did a longevity study in Okinawa, Japan for the elderly to help people live healthier, longer lives. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead, Hannah. Sorry I interrupted.
Yeah, no, no worries at all. And basically what they were eating were vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nut seeds, and legumes. And that is like the basis gut health 101. Every time you eat one of those foods, it will build healthy bacteria in your gut microbiome. And that has resonated for me the most of everything that I've studied and also that I've lived. So my real credentials is with my own stomach, my own gut. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 12 and went on my own healing journey when I was 19 of using food to heal my gut. And it was not rocket science. It was lots of cooked vegetables and lots of whole grains and not a lot else. And that it really is what most bodies, I'll speak generally for most healthy bodies, what they crave and what they need to give them that foundation of health. And so since I incorporated that 12 years ago, uh, I really have been able to eat whatever I want while having that as the foundation. And to kind of simplify that, what that foundation is, it's one word ingredients, whole foods, words with the few foods with the fewest amount of ingredients in them. And that is like if someone's taking one takeaway, take away that. And yeah,
Okay, and but then you went to culinary school in Italy.
that's right. I did do that.
Did you forget about that?
I forgot. You know, when someone talks about credentials, yeah, it's like I forget. Yeah, I went to culinary school in Italy, and part of what I learned in Italy, it wasn't necessarily how to cook, which you might be like, what? I knew how to cook. I've been watching Food Network since I was 5. But in Italy, what I learned was more of like a romantic partnership with food, if you will. And Italians do this right because, as we touched upon earlier, the energy that you bring to food matters. Like as you said, if you're cooking in a high tension household with resentment and all of this stuff, your food carries that energy. Versus if you're cooking your meal from love and excitement and connection and joy and flavor, your food also carries that energy. And in Italy, it's the food capital of the world, and you can feel the intentionality and the care and the love that's in those ingredients. And I definitely learned that in Italy, and I also learned how good life can be in Italy. And so, yeah, I teach people about food and cooking and healing and all of that, but I also teach them to claim what they want in their lives and really do more of that.
Okay, so before I forget, I heard this somewhere and I want to know if it's true. And then we really have to go to a break. We're way over, but that's okay. All right. I heard that if you are going to eat a piece of cake and you eat it by yourself in front of the TV and you're stressed out and you're feeling guilty about the cake, you will digest it way differently than if you are eating cake with a bunch of people and you're celebrating something and you're happy and you're laughing and you're enjoying it and you're not feeling guilty. Is there truth to that?
100%. If you are eating from a place of guilt and shame and rushed energy, your cortisol levels will rise. And when you're stressed, when those levels rise, your digestion slows. And so it's a process that your body can't process it as well, versus when you're in connection and joy, your happy hormones increase, your serotonin increase, and it brings in more flow into your body and more acceptance into your body. Because if you're eating something from resistance, your body's going to resist it as well.
You're listening to the Divorced Girl Smiling podcast. My name is Jackie Pilosoff, and I'm your host. And today I am here with Hannah McKitrick, who is a holistic nutritionist, wellness coach, culinary instructor, and the founder of My Intuitive Health. She's also the person I'm going to Samos, Greece with in 2 months. I'm so excited. Hannah and I are talking about cooking as a way to heal, and we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to get into the benefits of cooking because Hannah, you were saying, like we were both saying that there might be people who already know how to cook, but your cooking classes aren't about how to teach someone how to cook. They're about so much more. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Divorced Girl Smiling podcast. My name is Jackie Pilosoff and I'm your host. And today I am talking about cooking as a way to heal from your divorce. I know it sounds a little crazy, but there's so much truth to it. I have a great guest that I'm talking to. Her name is Hannah McKitrick. She's the founder of My Intuitive Health. Hannah is a holistic nutritionist, a wellness coach, a culinary instructor, and the founder of My Intuitive Health, the company that takes people on cooking, culinary, and wellness retreats, which I'm going on in a couple months to Greece. I'll let you guys know how it is when I get back. I never go anywhere, so this is like a big stretch for me. I mean, I haven't left the country since I was in my early 20s. So this is big for me, and I am so, so excited. Today, oh, sorry, you can edit out today. I didn't mean to say today. So, Hannah, let's get into the benefits of your cooking classes and culinary retreats. And we talked about health. We talked about it's not a class to help you learn how to cook, which it will help you learn how to, sorry, I'm getting a call. We can edit all of that out. Why is everyone calling me right in the middle of my podcast? Okay. So let's get into the benefits of cooking, which we already talked about health. We're already saying we're not here if you know how to cook and you're like, I don't need to learn how to cook. This isn't about learning how to cook. Let's talk about another benefit, which is I've heard you say that cooking is a form of meditation. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, cooking is one of those things where we know it benefits our health, we know it benefits our body, and we know we should do it more, right? And it's not always something that we commit the time to because we're in our society, we're go, 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 go. And so these classes are an hour marked in your calendar where you know you show up, you know you're going to have the accountability to do the thing, to be in accordance with how you want to show up with your health. And it's a time to pause and to get out of your head, to forget about your busy day, forget about all the calls that you're getting, and get into the present moment, into your body, and into what's in front of you right now. And it's creative. It uses your hands and activates your playful, instinctual self. It activates your right brain, where your creativity center lies, and where also your intuition lies. And so not only are you getting into that creativeness, but you're almost opening yourself up as a portal to receive more source energy, because like I said, you're activating your right brain, which is where your intuition lies, which is what tells you your next best step, which connects you to your higher self, to your essence. And so yeah, it might seem like a little mundane, like cooking, but really when you bring that intentionality to it and when you have that guidance, you become your own portal to access your higher self. And the food helps to sustain that connection, and you digest this love that you're bringing into your body. And so it's a cyclical cycle of your energy and then also the food helping to support that expansion and growth and groundedness back into the moment.
So I want to tell my listeners I did a yoga class this morning at 9 o'clock, and I almost didn't go because I was like, I have so many calls I'm expecting. I have so many people. And I thought to myself, well, they can wait 1 hour, 1 hour. That's it, 1 hour.
Mhm.
So I see this cooking class as no different because
Right.
last week, Hannah, it was 5 o'clock and I was still sitting at my computer. I had like 4 emails to answer. I don't even know if you noticed I was late. And I was like, shoot, shoot. Once I got into the class, I forgot about everything for a whole hour. I didn't even think about one work issue or anything that was going on. And that is almost the same thing as yoga.
Yeah,
If
it
you
is.
think about it, or any other meditative activity where you can shut your mind off,
Mhm.
and especially around food, if you want to have a better digestive system and better health. So, so important.
Yeah. Yeah, it's similar to yoga. It shifts your energy body, your aura, and it's that subtle difference too. And especially, coming from work, going into the cooking class, like if you're staring at a problem all day, that's not what's going to solve it. What solves it is doing stuff like you said, going for a walk, cooking, and getting out of your mind and into more creative thinking. And that's where the divine solutions come like this, because you're opening yourself up.
Okay, next benefit of cooking, I believe, is, or not cooking, but your way of cooking in your classes, is productivity and feeling good about yourself, which
Mhm.
is so important when you're getting divorced and you have no self-esteem because you
Totally.
had it all zapped out of you. Tell me, have you seen that happen with divorced women?
Oh my God, yeah. It's like we all need a small win sometimes, right? And it's like cooking is something that it's very clear. These are the steps. Here's how you start. Here's how you finish. And so it's a really tangible way to do something that is productive. It gives you a sense of accomplishment because by the end, you've created this gorgeous dish that you did yourself. And so it starts to build your self-esteem, build your confidence from a mental perspective. And we need that, especially when we're at a low point and maybe our self-esteem might be low, and going through divorce, there's all types of rejection and all this kind of self-doubt that would go with that. And so cooking is something that gives you a tangible way to feel proud of yourself, even if it's just a small dish. But people are always posting our finished dishes on Facebook being like, look what I just made, because it looks like it came out of a restaurant, but really when you break it down step by step, it's not complicated. Like really
And it's
anyone can.
better. It's actually
It's
better.
better.
And
Yeah.
and the thing is that for a lot of these women, your cooking class might be the only thing they did that day. Let's say
Yeah.
they're in the thick of their divorce. Well, at least you feel like you did something. You did something productive. You did something good for yourself. You did something that temporarily helped you not think about your divorce. I mean, I could just go on, and it's such a small thing. And I want to tell my listeners that Hannah offers these like one-offs also. She doesn't just have these cooking retreats that are a long commitment and then you have to go to Greece. You don't have to do that. She offers these like one-offs where you can try it one time. And the next one is September 11th. What day of the week is that?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, September 11th for 1 hour. If you wanna sign up, go to myintuitivehealth.com. Okay. All right. Now we have to air this before September 11th. That's what's going through my mind, but that's okay. Okay. So, the last benefit, because we're running out of time, that I wanna talk about is that not only is cooking a great way to help you heal, but it's a great way to help your kids heal from
Mhm.
divorce and to set them up for good cooking habits. Let them into the kitchen. Let them see what you're doing. Let them help. Let them taste the food. Say, see, taste this sauce. Isn't it delicious? Because
Mhm.
then they're going to grow up very much unlike my kids
Yeah.
who are in college now, who basically go get like their Dunkin' in the morning. And, if you're listening to this and you still have young kids, you still have a chance. So, what do you think about that, Hannah?
Yeah, so, the way that we cook in the classes, there is no doubt about it. It elevates your mood, and in turn, it elevates the whole mood in the household. And someone recently asked me, how am I going to get my family on board with this type of with this type of eating? And I said, you don't. They're going to see it and they're going to want it naturally. You don't have to force or try for anything. It's like the amount of messages I get that are like, oh my gosh, my teenage son just ate his first vegetable from your dish because he loved it so much. And that's very common because the way that we cook and eat, like it's not boiled broccoli. It's really an elevation of ingredients and of healthy foods that people naturally crave and naturally want to eat, including the people in your house. And so from a foundational standpoint, it'll teach the kids how good healthy food can be naturally, right? Like you're not telling them to eat their vegetables. They just see what you're doing, see how happy you are, and see how good the food looks. And then they're intrigued and want to try it. And so it's like exposure therapy, right? Like they see it and they want it. And that is super helpful to set the foundation for kids and vegetables and cooking. And it's the more joy that you can bring into the process of cooking, the more your kids will see and want to do it because they model what they see and what you do. And so the more aliveness that you can bring to it, the more they will just be magnetically drawn to it.
Well, I just case in point, for the past 2 weeks, my kids have eaten the food that we made and basically, quote from both their mouths, both weeks, "Mom, this is the best thing I ever ate." They said that, and it
Oh
was
my
all
God.
vegetables, it was healthy, but it was
Yeah.
delicious. I
Yeah.
mean, they would charge, like, $35 for that in a restaurant per serving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't end this podcast without talking about your retreats. Tell my listeners and me in a nutshell what to expect if they decide to pursue talking to you about going on one of your retreats.
Yeah. They can expect to be completely held and nurtured while going on the adventure of a lifetime. And so it's one part cooking, like we do hands-on cooking classes by world-renowned chefs. Jackie's going to Greece. I also host them in Italy. And then it's also one part coaching, mind, body, soul coaching on what you want to create for yourself in your life. And really, the whole premise of that is embodying your light and your essence and the truth of who you are and connecting back into the lightest, happiest version of yourself. And we do that by integrating fun. So that's what's on the agenda is having fun and doing activities that bring out that childlike playfulness and that connection and camaraderie and feeling seen and supported by a group and being able to be your full self and have it accept that part, not that part of you, and have yourself accepted by the whole group and rewarded just for being you. And so it gives someone an embodied experience of feeling like they're tapping into their childlike essence again, and the self of them that may be clouded from life experience, from divorce, from whatever else has gone on in the past 50 years that is anything but their truest self. And so we help to connect back into that through play and food and
I
connection.
just love it. And also, Hannah curates these groups of people. So she's very particular about making sure that the group is a good fit for each other. You can't put people in there who are of massively different age groups because it's
Mhm.
just going to be weird.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really all about the connection too, which I think after divorce, I mean, I've been divorced for 17 years, but I mean, other people who are newly divorced, might really enjoy meeting women of a similar age.
Yeah.
You know.
And even someone who's in a relationship but wants to deepen their own singular connections outside of that relationship with people, like you said, of like-minded, heart-centered, connected, spiritually mature women where they want to have a different conversation than they might be having with their partner
Right.
or whatever.
Well, I'm in a very happy, healthy relationship. And there's people that are going on our trip who are single, divorced, married. So it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Hannah, thank you so much. I want to just sit and talk more about the trip for like
I
another
know.
hour.
I know.
But
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate your being on. Tell my listeners the best way to reach you if they want to have a consult.
Yeah, so they can go to myintuitivehealth.com. You can fill out your information, join my email list, download 15-minute free recipes, or you can book a call right on there and we can chat and see what you want to create for yourself.
I love it. You can also find Hannah in the trusted professionals section of Divorced Girl Smiling, along with so many other wonderful, trusted, vetted divorce professionals. And if you go to divorcedgirlsmiling.com, you can also listen to more podcasts, read articles, download my mobile app, or sign up for my free consult. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Bye.